here. They are varying lengths, and there are different numbers of the various lengths. The probability that you get a nail which is 50 or 60 millimeters, that's these two here. There are 7 nails which are 50 or 60 millimeters long, and there are 20 nails altogether, so the probability is just 7 out of 20. The probability of a nail being less than 35 millimeters, well, that's only these two types of nails. There are 9 of those, so the probability of that type is 9 out of 20. Okay, I've repeated the table again here over on the right just to make it a bit easier. Okay, she puts 20 nails into a bag, takes one, records its length, but then she puts it back in the bag. She then takes another nail and looks at how long that one is. So what's the probability that both are 60 millimeters? Well, if you look at the probability that one nail is 60 millimeters long is 2 out of 20. So the second nail, she took another nail, she's replaced the first, so the probability of getting another nail, which is 60 millimeters long, is still 2 out of 20. Now we want the probability that both nails, in other words the first nail and the second nail, both have a length of 60 millimeters, which means we're going to multiply together the probabilities. Might be a bit easier, although you don't have to realize that each of these probabilities is just 1/10, and if you do 1/10 times 1/10 you get 1/100th. The next part asks us to work out the probability that the two nails have a total length of 80 millimeters. Now the only way that can happen, and we have to consider the first nail and the second nail, and in fact I'm not going to draw a tree diagram here. I'll do it by tree diagram as well. The first nail, let's have a look at how we could get a total to be 80 millimeters. It could be that both of our nails have a length of 40 millimeters. Now the probability of that happening, well, there are 4 nails of that size, so it's 4 out of 20 times 4 out of 20. Okay, another way of getting 2 nails with a total length of 80 is if the first one is 30 millimeters and the second one is 50 millimeters. Probability of 30 is 8 out of 20. Probability of a nail being 50 is 5 out of 20. And if we multiply those two, well, let's multiply those together. These two come out as 16 out of 400. These two come out as 40 out of 400. And the last way that you could get a total length of 80 is if the first nail is 50 millimeters long and the second one is 30 millimeters long. Now that's going to be 5/20 multiplied by 8/20. And if we multiply those together, we get 40, and on the bottom 400. Now, the reason we multiplied to here is because you would have to take a nail of length 40 and another nail of length 40 in order to get this probability. Now, we are now going to add these together. The reason being is that you either get a 40 and a 40, or you get a 30 followed by a 50, or you get a 50 followed by a 30. And or generally in probability terms means add. So if we add these together, we've got 40 400ths plus 40 400ths plus 16. Well, that's a total of 96 400ths. Now you can leave it like that, or you could divide by 4 to get 24 hundredths, which you could also have as 12 50ths, or you could have it as 6 25ths, or you could have it as a decimal, that's 0.24. Any of those would be fine.